Alright, so if you didn't recognize it in the intro playing there, the second song I decided to try and learn in my jazz journey is Take Five, written by Paul Desmond, who is a sax player for the David Brubeck Quartet. Amazing piece, a timeless piece. When I first found out that this, he wrote this back in the 50s, and I think it was first recorded in 59, I was shocked because it sounded a lot more modern than that. I kind of associate 50s, 60s, maybe 40s, more of a swing type of jazz, but I guess that's the thing about jazz. A lot of it is probably timeless, similar to this. So it's a great piece, very unique in the key signature of 5/4. So 5 quarter notes a measure. To roughly, it's fairly fast tempo. I think it's the recording's probably in the 160s. I think I did it somewhere around there, or maybe high 150s. But either way, it's an up tempo, quick piece. But it's actually very simple when you break it down. There's two sections of chord changes. The first section is just E flat minor to B flat minor 7 over and over again as far as the chords go. So that looks like this. Just over and over again. You just got to get, if you haven't kind of dealt with 5/4 time before, just kind of get that feel in your head. Listen to the track. The drums are good. Concentrate on the drums. You'll get a feel for the 5/4. But that's it. And I found that this was probably the easiest, and as definitely the easiest position I found. So this is just the A minor position barred here on the 6th fret, and then we're just dropping down a string. We're barring the entire 6th fret, and we're fretting on the 8th fret on the A string for the B flat minor 7. There's that minor 7. You want to make sure you hear that. That's it as far as the chord changes. In the second section, again, it's a section it's the same thing repeated twice. It just ends differently slightly with the chords. But it starts out same rhythmic feel, C flat major 7. Now I tried to play this in a number of different positions based on what was easiest and and ended up going with kind of what sounded good and what was easiest. So first I tried just your standard major 7 position here, starting on the A string. So I'm on the 2nd fret on the A string for the C flat, and then 4 on D, 3 on G, 4 on B. And then I slid down to the B flat minor here. And then I slid down to this position for the A flat minor. So again, this is that easy one. We're just barring the 4th fret, and fretting on the 6th fret on the A. And then the G flat, the G flat major 7, you can do it 2 different ways. You can come up here, but I found that conflicted with the lead, so I went down here. So what I'm doing is I'm fretting the 2nd fret on the E, the 3rd fret on the D and G strings, and then if I can make my pinky over to the 4th fret on the A string. So altogether it sounds like this. But sometimes I was cheating, just leaving my pinky off. You can still get away with it. Definitely get away with it without using your pinky if you're not that fast. But it's something it's something I'm working on and hoping to get to. So to be continued. But for the time being, I find that if you can take little shortcuts like that and still get the key chord tones in there, you'll probably be okay. But again, that whole progression, starting with the standard position here. My carpal tunnel is acting up a little bit when I kept on trying to hammer this chord here going into here. So I figured that I use that same major 7 shape here. And I just started out here, G flat major 7 up here. So I think that's the easiest way to play it, and it sounds best because you're in the lower register and the lead is, more up. I was also doing it like this. But these chords up here conflicted with the lead, so down here it's a little bit easier to nail the chords and it doesn't conflict with the lead, and you can get those key chord tones in there. That's the only variation at the end. Instead of going to the G flat major 7, you're going up to F minor 7. And if you listen to the recording, it does that to the B flat and then back into the intro part for the rest of the regression. So again, it just repeats those first two parts twice and then goes back to the first part one more time. But just get the chords under your hand. I found these were the best, the easiest way to play them. Sounds good, and it's simple and doesn't hurt my hand, so I found that to be okay. But now we'll take a look at the lead. Okay, so looking at the lead here, I tabbed it out on the left. Again, I transcribed that directly from the sheet music we were looking at before, so it's as accurate as I could get it based on that. But again, it's pretty simple. It's just the same two parts. They just repeat a couple of times. As you can see there, that first line, that repeats twice, but those last two phrases, you just reverse them. So the second time around, you play that lower one first, and then the second section is pretty much tabbed out entirely through, and then at the end of it you just go back to the beginning and repeat that first part again, and that's part C of the song. So I'll play it through once so you get a feel for it. But if you're not familiar with it, just listen to the actual song, listen to the actual Dave Brubeck recording, get a feel for how it goes, get a feel for how it how the lead goes, how it feels, and then try and copy that as you look at the tablature. But I'll play it like it goes here. So that's it. Just look at the tablature if you're not familiar with it, and listen to the song again to get a feel for how it goes and how he's phrasing things. And that's what I tried to do when I played it there. Ultimately, tried to copy the saxophonist's phrasing. So it's a great piece. Look at it. I enjoyed learning it. I enjoy it's another new thing I have under my belt. So I'm going to keep on looking at songs like this and just try and get more and more out of it. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I sure did. Have a good night.